Warning: mature content. The following stream contains content that may not be suitable for all audiences, including mature themes, strong language, and potentially sensitive material. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, J-Bone Nation! Shaming of Jay. He's not a dopey dumb bitch. He gets laid. The court jester, the court DJ. It's time to dive into the case. To the case.
What is up, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. As we continue the Charlie Adelson trial rewatch for a little prep for Donna's trial. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the support yesterday from the live. And I missed a couple of people I want to just thank real quick. KTG sent two $10 cash apps. She's always a supporter, and I missed them live. And then after that, Amy K sent a $10 PayPal. So thank you so much. These are my new glasses I got from TikTok that I'm going to have to do a commercial for. My kids thought my last ones were feminine. So I'm like, I'm going to order these ones. I didn't really care. I like my other ones, and I'm going to still wear them. But I ordered these ones, and I'm like, I showed them to the boys. They're like, those are more feminine. So I just can't win. I can't win with whatever. I like them. I don't care. These are like massive. I've never had sunglasses this big. But any hoozle, good morning. Thank you for being here. Today we are going to watch Pat Sanford's testimony from day one. He testifies more than once. Day one. What's just Charlotte, Laura, Fancy, what's up? Katie, Jen, A. Heineman, Pokemon, Wesley, Angie, thanks for being here. Sharaj, Schwetty, Jerry, Blair, Babe is here. Taryn, Simi, Kay. I'm not gonna be able to get to everyone, but thanks for being here. Before I start, who wants to watch something that'll make you feel good? I do. I already did. I started getting like teary-eyed watching this because I'm such a like emotionally unregulated person. Like I cry at things because I'm like I shouldn't. Anyway, so I'm going to show you this video before I start the testimony. I think you guys are going to like it. I think it's going to be a good way to start your day. So the New York Mets have a promotion that they do every year. And what they do for an inning of baseball, a half inning, they have a kid. I can't do it. All right. They have a kid announce for half an inning. This kid is 9 years old. They do it every year. I look forward to it every year because it's amazing. They have a kid announcer. He does the play-by-play. And they always do such a great job. But check this out, guys. Tell me this isn't the greatest. Watch this. Watch and listen.
Pitch of the day. It is smacked through the hole, a base hit. That'll score Alonso, and Alvarez pulls in at second with an RBI single for Tyrone Taylor. The Mets now lead 3-0 against the Baltimore Orioles in the fourth. And it's Rogers' sixth.
Is that not the best? This kid is 9 years old. Actually, I'm going to show this clip from, I'll probably get a copyright claim, but I don't give a shit. Kidcaster. They call it the Kidcaster. And like, and I was watching, I'm like, this is the fucking best. I'm going to play a little bit of this other clip here. I'll probably get a claim for it. Who cares? I just love it. And then I'll get right to the testimony. Here is this kid talking to the announcers. It's so adorable.
With is Kingston Namcorn, who was our kid.
Look at this little guy, 9 years old. Could you imagine? 9 years old, I would be hiding under the desk.
Caster for 2024. Congratulations, Kingston.
Thank you.
So how old are you now?
I'm 9.
And do your friends at school know that you're doing this tonight?
Only the ones who are baseball fans.
Only the ones who are baseball fans. Hey, Thumay?
My best friend,
Hey,
Evan,
Christine?
I think he's watching today. He's getting to stay up late today. I
His best friend's getting to stay up late to watch it.
sing for the Metropolitan Opera.
Oh, he sings for the Metropolitan Opera, folks. I'm pausing this purposely to try to avoid the copyright claim, but...
An opera, children's chorus. Sing for the Metropolitan Opera today. He's getting to stay up late today. I sing for the Metropolitan Opera, children's chorus.
That's outstanding.
Yeah. And you're up in the booth with us? I mean, that's amazing.
I mean, you've already out-accomplished all three of us.
Here's the 1-2, and Alonso smacks that one, and it is down for a base hit. It goes to the wall. Pete Alonso is trying for 2. He'll make it in there standing, and it is a leadoff double.
Kingston, that was fantastic. You did a great job, and I don't know how much you've practiced your play-by-play skills, but you were spot on.
I don't know why that made... by the way, the Mets won on a walk-off home run.
So now Francisco
whoops.
Alvarez, who's 0 for 2 and a walk tonight.
And then one more thing, I'll stop being annoying with this. One more thing. It's him. This is the one that made me emotional. And I'll probably get emotional now because, like I said, I'm a fucking mess of a human being. But hold on, watch this. This is what, got me teared up. I probably won't even talk. I just go right to... I don't know why. Because I'm unregulated. That's probably not even the right word for it. Watch this. Watch this shit. This is just the best. All right. I hope that cheered you up, made you smile a little bit. All right, here we go. Pat Sanford with possibly the best line of the entire Adelson saga, which was when, if you guys don't remember Pat Sanford, first of all, obviously massive key part of the investigation. He was the guy that set up the bump. He did so much, but the best line maybe to date, there's probably other ones, but walks up to Donna Adelson when he was going to arrest her, and is like, "Do you remember me? Do you remember me, Miss Adelson? You're under arrest." And she's like, "Here we go." And then he's got to she's taking the phone. She won't take the phone. So, Pat Sanford, Agent Pat Sanford, here we go with the testimony.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about
Welcome
to
in, everyone. Thanks for being here. Feel like my mic is loud. Sorry.
Please say your name and spell your name.
Patrick Sanford, Sanford.
How are you employed?
I'm a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
How long have you been with the FBI?
Approximately a little over 24 years, 22 of which I was here in Tallahassee.
What are your duties there?
I'm a special agent. I investigate cases and protect national security.
And were you assigned to investigate a murder case involving the murder of Dan Markell?
Yes, I was.
Were you the lead investigator on that case?
Correct.
Did you assist the Tallahassee Police Department in that case?
Yes, I did.
Why was the FBI included in that particular investigation?
At the beginning, they had several leads, like interviews, things that they need to track down that were outside of the city of Tallahassee. That we have agents, all over the country.
Hey, Donna.
So we're able to facilitate some of those leads and track down certain aspects of the case.
And were some of those leads in the Miami area?
Yes, they were.
And were you assisted by Miami authorities as well in the investigation?
Correct.
As part of the investigation, were the people that were considered to be...
Now, this gets me every time, because I know I have a habit myself when I'm streaming. For some reason, I do this, and it's just like me, resting my hand. You guys, I'm sure, who have watched me this whole time for these however many months, 18 months, know that a lot of times when I'm watching, I'll do this. It's kind of just but I don't sniff my fingers. This guy sniffs his fingers. What is the fucking deal? Right? I mean, is that a thing? Is that a calming, soothing thing, like a fidget spinner type deal? Is it just like me where I just kind of like, I don't know why he does it.
The closest to the victim interviewed?
Yes, they were.
And would that include the ex-wife, Wendy Adelson?
Yes.
What did you learn in the investigation about the relationship between the victim and his ex-wife, Wendy Adelson?
Hey, Dizzy, Haitian Aid.
They
hey,
had
Meg.
gone to through a very contentious divorce, which even after the divorce was finalized, they still had several issues that they dealt with through the court system.
I'm going to approach with what I've marked as State's Exhibit 56.
Hey,
Do
Kay.
you
Hey,
recognize this
Shiraz.
exhibit?
Yes, I do.
You had an opportunity to look at that exhibit before?
Yes, I have.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate copy of Wendy Adelson and Dan Markel's?
You know you've watched the trials too much when you know the difference. There's two main binders, at least with Wendy and Sanford and stuff. The white one, this one, the white binder is the divorce file, like 800 whatever pages it is, and the blue one is the transcription from the police interview with Wendy. At least when Wendy's up there. Two main ones. This is the white one. This is the divorce file, and they have a blue one, which is the police interview.
Divorce file.
Hey, Jessica. Hey,
From the
Spiteful.
clerk's office
See
here in
me.
Leon County.
Correct.
All right, Judge, at this time
Leslie.
I ask to move into evidence State's Exhibit 56.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
States 56.
Just our previous objection, Your Honor.
Very well. States 56 is admitted at this time over defense objection.
Did you review this divorce file as part of your investigation in this case?
Yes, I did.
About how many pages are in that?
Around 576, I believe.
Okay. And I want to draw your attention to a couple things specifically, like on page 82, paragraph 13. They were arguing over everything, right? All the belongings.
Correct. They
Down
were.
to a tennis racket.
That's correct.
Okay. As part of these proceedings, did Wendy Adelson seek to relocate with her children from Tallahassee to Miami, Florida?
Yes, she did.
Right. And why did she want to relocate to South Florida, according to the filings?
The filing stated that she had a job offer in South Florida that was more lucrative than her current job.
Hi, Kim.
And did Mr. Markel object to her petition to relocate with the children?
He did.
Right. Did he file quite a lengthy and emphatic objection to that?
Yes, he did.
Oh, my Lanta, that's the first time I've noticed. They have a little note there for the witnesses. Speak loudly. And I assume it says, please speak loudly. And I assume the C is clearly and one at a time. Thank you. I never noticed that before. Look at that little note for the witnesses. Let me make this ticker a little bit smaller. I had never noticed that. That's funny. Whoops.
Okay. And in his motion, and that's going to be on page 82, why did he indicate he believed was the sole reason that Ms. Adelson wanted to move to South Florida?
He says that he stated that the sole reason was because she could relocate with the party's minor children to be near her parents.
And was the relocation petition that Wendy filed, was that ruled on?
Yes, it was.
All right, so what did the court say about that?
The court ruled against that and ruled against her, saying she had to stay in Tallahassee with the children.
And if I said that was June 20th of 2013, does that sound right?
That's correct.
Okay. When was the divorce made final? And for that, I'll direct you to page 457 and 458.
I believe it was made final in July 31st of 2013, I believe.
All right. And did that conclude the issues between, the legal issues between Ms. Adelson and Professor Markel?
No, it did not.
All right. So they continued to file quite a lot of filings after that. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. In fact, there's over 250 more pages of stuff after the divorce was final. Does that sound
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Okay. I want to direct your attention to March 26th of 2014.
By the way, as I go through this, police report and supplemental police reports, it's interesting to watch as they, continue as they start their investigation. They're trying to figure out who did this. Then there's all these supplemental reports, which, I did one last night. I'll do more, but it's interesting. There's one specifically. Oh, Rabbit, thank you so much. Rabbit says, supporting you for the FOIA costs. You can't wait to hear the details you found there. You rock. Thank you so much, Rabbit. Hey, Amy. Hey, Meg. There's a particular supplemental report where they're like, oh, and that's where they decide that Wendy's the co-conspirator. Like they go over all the details of the divorce. And I just think about when they're investigating and they have that aha moment where they're like, holy shit, this is because of this awful divorce. They have they have Donna's emails in there, the court filings. It's just interesting to see in the report how they develop their investigation.
Did Mr. Markell file a motion seeking some relief related to the grandmother, Donna Adelson?
Yes, he did.
And what specifically was he seeking in reference to Donna Adelson?
He was seeking to limit her visitation rights to where they had to be monitored.
Supervised by another adult.
That's correct.
And why in the pleading did Mr. Markell indicate that this supervision was needed?
I'm sorry, could you refresh the page number?
Look at 450. Yeah, 450.
Mr. Markell stated that that the children informed him that Grandma says you're stupid and that she says you're trying to take your sunshines away.
That Grandma, meaning Donna Adelson?
That's correct.
Was saying that telling the kids that Dan Markell was stupid?
That's correct.
Did you also come into possession of some emails that were exchanged between Wendy Adelson and Donna Adelson?
We did.
All right, I'm going to show you what I've marked as States Exhibit 57. Have you had an opportunity to review those emails?
Yes, I have.
By the way, can you just, if you watch that interview with the Greenbergs, they said after that motion for relocation, that flipped a switch with Dan, where he was like, no more Mr. Nice Guy. But can you imagine the Adelsons when they get that motion from Dan to have supervised visitation for Donna, and that she's like talking shit about him? I mean, I know we have like the emails and the motions and stuff that they sent, from Wendy's attorney and from Donna's emails, but like just think about the phone calls, which we don't have. That must have sent them into such a fucking frenzy. I mean, obviously they end up killing Dan, but I could just imagine that family, like every call, Charlie to Wendy to Charlie to Donna, like this fucking, he says you said that, he wants observed appearances, he wants your visitation, he wants to have it supervised. Is he fucking kidding me? Can you imagine the spiral that sent them into
today, which we can't find? Have you had a chance to review those before today?
I have.
Okay.
There's KTG. Thank you so much for those cash apps yesterday, KTG. Sorry I missed them live yesterday.
Anything in those emails that goes to motive in your investigation?
Yes, there is.
And what is that?
She was being very assertive. Mrs. Adelson, Mrs. Donna Adelson, was being very assertive with Wendy Adelson, trying to influence her to do different things to Mr. Markell to get him to agree to let her and the children to move to South Florida.
And what was the thing that was expressly stated?
Sorry, I feel like I'm being annoying pausing so much, but it just, when I see that stuff, for folks who don't know, I went through my own very contentious divorce. And before it was me who was on like the outside of the family that I was with, before it was me, it was other people. And it brings me back every time, because I would remember when someone got on the outside of the circle, whether it was like a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend, that's all they would do. They would shit talk anyone who was outside of that family circle. It just brings me right back, because then when I was outside that circle, they were just shit talking me. It reminds me so much of like, if you're not in their little circle.
Stated in these emails as the most important part of Wendy's whole divorce and litigation?
It was relocation to South Florida to be close to the family.
All right, and was there mention in those emails of a bribe that was to be offered to Dan Markel to potentially facilitate this relocation?
There was.
And who was going to pay for the bribe?
There was going to be a three-way payment between Donna and Harvey Adelson. We're going to pay 33% of it. Charlie Adelson would pay 33%, and then Wendy would pay the other 33%.
All right, and what was the total amount of this potential bribe?
Oh, the mod already deleted it. Thank you, mods. But Ant Bay Area 420 asks, how many times can you rewatch this? I don't know, Ant Bay Area 420. 1,000 times, 10,000 times. I don't give a fuck. If you don't want to watch it with us, you don't have to. I'm sorry. This is not Clockwork Orange. I'm not holding you in a fucking chair. If you don't want to watch, you don't have to. Just a heads up, Ant Bay Area 420. I don't know if you knew that. I'm not forcing you to watch this. Just an FYI. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Right.
Fuck out of here.
$1 million.
All right. Was there any financial benefit to Wendy Adelson that occurred as a result of Dan Markel's death?
There was.
What were those that benefit or benefits?
There was at least, I believe, a couple of life insurance policies, one of which was around $2 million. There was Social Security benefits to the kids that were provided, I believe, like $4,800 a month. There was a 401k that he left behind, and some other accounts.
Pension as well?
Yes, there was a pension.
Okay. And some deferred comp, $217,000 there?
That's correct.
Okay. And you mentioned the 401k. Do you recall how much money was in that?
I don't off the top of my head.
Okay. Is there something that could refresh your memory on that?
Possibly.
Does $100,000 sound right?
Yes, it does.
Warfare says it's like a plot for the series of Fargo. I bet they all watched it. It's like started in 2014, Adelson crime family. I mean, seriously, folks, this could be a legitimate TV show. There are these affluent, dentists and shit who are hiring these hitmen. One is a Latin king, even though it doesn't involve, like, through an ex. I mean, this shit could totally be a TV show or a movie, like not like a documentary. You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane. It's not, obviously, it's real life, but.
As part of the investigation in this case, you looked at sort of the people.
Shiraz, a member for 5 months, says, turn your gifting on. You're the best, Shiraz. Thank you.
Closest to Dan, did you also investigate the day of the homicide and his routine or activities that day?
We did.
And what did you learn about his schedule that day?
That morning, he had custody of the kids that day, of his two children, his two boys. He took them to daycare over off of West Tharp Street, dropped them off around 8:50 a.m., and then drove back across town and went to Premier Gym right off of McClay Boulevard, Thomasville Road, Capitol Circle area.
Was there any surveillance images captured outside the gym that showed the vehicles coming and going from there?
Yes, there was some exterior cameras on the gym itself, on the roof of the gym.
And did that surveillance, were you able to identify from that surveillance which vehicle was Dan Markel's vehicle arriving at the gym?
Yes, we were.
Okay, and was there another vehicle that appeared to be a suspect vehicle captured in this video?
That's correct.
And why did you describe, or why am I describing this other vehicle as a suspect vehicle?
We did obtain multiple pieces of footage, video footage around town, also showing that it appeared.
Yes, at Justice for Dan M. At Justice for Dan M on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Follow it everywhere. They're a great foundation trying to keep Dan's memory alive. They have a scholarship for Dan. It's Jared Ross, Tamara Demko, Karen Cyphers, and it's a really cool thing. So definitely give a follow to at Justice, whether it's on all social media, Justice for Dan M. Give it a follow.
A a light green Prius was following Mr. Markell wherever he went that morning.
And was that description of a vehicle consistent with the description that Mr. Geiger gave us of the vehicle that he saw leaving the crime scene?
That's correct.
All right. Was there a compilation of relevant clips or parts of this video surveillance collected from Premier Gym to show the jury just sort of the relevant portions?
There was.
All right. And you've had an opportunity.
Oh, shit. Welcome, Jen. And then Shiraz, always gifting out 10 memberships. Shiraz, I cannot thank you enough for your support. And welcome, Jen. Welcome all the new members. Thanks to Shiraz, and welcome, Jen. Thank you.
Opportunity to review that.
I have.
Okay, and those images are fair and accurate clips or portions of the Premier Gym surveillance video?
That's correct.
Judge, I'd asked to introduce into evidence that Premier video surveillance footage at this time, which I believe is 83. We checked that.
Thank you, G. Lander.
No objection, Your Honor. Stays 83.
G. Lander says, $5 super chat. Occurs to me that the money Wendy hinted the divorce approximates her 1/3 portion of the proposed bribe money. Thank you so much, G. Lander.
States 83, Your Honor, and that's going to be in the form of, what did it say by 83? It's in the form of a disc, Your Honor, but I'd ask for permission to publish by way of the laptop.
By the way, when you get to be a member, you have 3 emojis related to this trial: Justice for Dan, Puta, and one of Georgia Kappelman.
All right, if you'll kind of walk us through what we're looking at here, and we may need to pause when he starts.
Take care, Fancy.
This is from the roof of the Premier Gym. This is off of the north side facing toward the Fresh Market, that area. If you're familiar with that area, Fresh Market's off to the right. There's an entrance to the right of the screen, and there's also the main entrance, which is way further left of the screen that you can't see here.
All right, but this is a portion of the parking lot that's where the cars are lined up there.
That's correct. Those
Okay.
are vehicles parked in the parking lot of the gym.
All right, let's publish. Okay, we're seeing a blue circle around a dark vehicle. Could you tell us what that indicates?
That is
Take
Mr.
care,
Markell's
Kay.
vehicle.
And this is him entering the gym at 9:11.
That's correct. He just came into the parking lot and is going around to the front side of the gym.
All right, now what are we looking at?
This is just a different angle, a little bit further back, and this is Mr. Markell immediately preceding the video we just saw, where he's coming into screen, coming into the front of the gym.
All right, and is he going to park somewhere?
Yes, he parks right behind that American flag.
All right, that was 9:12. What is this camera angle?
This is the same angle. It's just a little bit further to the left, and that is the front of the gym right there, where the green Prius just drove right in front of the front door of the gym.
Okay, so they
Hey,
entered the parking lot through different entrances.
That's correct. They entered over off of the west side of the parking lot.
All right, so we see the Prius here, and we know where Mr. Markell's parked there behind the flagpole. What is that?
Correct. He's still in the vehicle, just exited the vehicle there, I believe.
All right, so the blue circle
Thank you,
indicates that's him
Tracy.
getting out of his vehicle.
Correct.
And where's the Prius at this time?
The Prius continued on through the parking lot on the north side. And
Great point, Mia. It says, I will watch this as many times as I want because you never catch all the details, only seeing it once. Right, Jay? Absolutely, Mia. Almost every time I catch something new. I mean, for example, today I did notice that little note, which really doesn't have to do with the case, but you always, there's so much going on in this case. Every time you watch it, you always kind of pick up on something new. It was, Sarah.
All right, now we're at 9:13 a.m. Is that Mr. Markel in the red?
Yes, it is.
Thanks for being here, Jerry. We're glad you're here. Is it Thumay or Thumay? Thanks for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Do we have any reason to believe that any suspects entered the gym?
No, we do not.
How long was Professor Markel inside the gym?
I believe about an hour and a half. I believe it's about 10:38 when he leaves, somewhere around there.
All right, and what are we looking at here outside at?
An hour and a half. Like, that's just the thing I'm just thinking about now, which I didn't even think about before. Dan's in there for an hour and a half, and Sigfredo and Tuto are probably doing blow or arguing. Who knows what they're doing in the car for an hour and a half, waiting for Dan to come out of the gym.
At 9:16 a.m.
9:16, the green Prius is still driving through the parking lot, but it's coming back from where it had passed through.
Hey, Tag.
Coming back toward the gym.
I said it perfectly. I'm good at pronouncing names sometimes. Not like Sharn.
This is on the south side of the parking lot of the gym. And
Hey, Amber, it
just
did.
drove through there and is driving around the parking lot still.
Oh, man. So sorry for your loss, Blair. I hope her memory is a blessing and thinking about you. Sorry about that.
Again, the vehicle is turned around and is coming back toward the gym in the same parking lot.
Yours is not Simi? Is it Simi? Is it Simi Shart and I say Simi? What's the correct pronunciation?
Almost managed to get in a wreck there.
Just missed.
What's the correct way? Simi?
Okay, what's happening here?
This is Mr. Markel exiting the lobby of the gym, coming through the lobby.
Simi. Oh, sorry. All right. Simi Sharp. Locking it up. Simi. Simi like Jimmy. Simi like Jimmy. Simi like Jimmy.
All right, now at 10:34, what do we see?
We see Mr. Markel walking away from the front doors of the into the parking lot toward his vehicle.
It's just, I mean, I don't care how many... Hey, Che, thanks for being here. I don't care how many times you watch this. It's just so chilling to think Dan just going to the gym, getting ready to see his boys later, dropped them off at school, dropped his boys off at school, goes to gym, is going home. No idea that his fucking former in-laws and ex-wife planned his fucking murder and there's hitmen out following him. It's just like so chilling. Angel Baby, $5 super chat. Love you, Jay, and this community. We love you, Angel Baby. Thank you so much. Yes, and if you missed it, I'm going to set up a live. I'm going to try to get it set up for tomorrow, where I go over more of the police report, which includes the written statement from the Best Buy guy. I have it in the police report. The next live I do, I'm thinking Wednesday night. I'm going to set that up, and I'll share that. Also, some of the interviews they discuss with Amy Adler and Rob Adelson, I think will be interesting. I mean, it's not huge narratives, but it'll be interesting to go over it.
All right, so we saw Mr. Markel's vehicle leaving. Is that the Prius that was back there in that orange circle?
That's correct. They were in the far northwest part of the parking lot parked, and when he exited, they started to exit.
Take care, Michelle. Thank you so much for being here.
And he exited on the Village Square Boulevard exit.
Okay.
Thank you,
So
Taryn.
we never saw anybody exit.
My idea is if I do get the job and I have to stream at night, you don't have to wait to watch it, but you can rewatch it with me because I'm sure people are going to want to watch it live. I get that, but I will definitely be doing every night of that trial if I have a full-time job, every night doing a rewatch of the most important stuff, if that's what it comes down to. But thank you so much, Taryn. You're the best.
The Prius during the surveillance video.
No, we did
It
not.
stayed in the car the whole time.
That's correct.
Hey, Suzanne.
Were you able to learn anything about the suspect vehicle from the surveillance images as far as the color?
We were able to determine the approximate year range of that type of vehicle based on the body style, going through the Toyota dealership and other experts. We're able to determine that it was a 2006 to 2009 Toyota Prius with a silver pine mica is the name of the paint, which is kind of
Silver pine
light
mica.
green.
Hey, Lisa.
Were you
Take care.
able to learn anything or find any other surveillances to establish anything about the route the victim took to and from the gym?
Yes, we were.
What?
Great point by Brittany. This footage is so chilling. It's hard to imagine all these people followed through with this plan and not one of them stopped and thought about how this would ruin so many lives, including their own. Great point. And, Josh Ritter brought that up in a live we did, and I hadn't really thought about it, but at no point were any of them like, hold up. We are killing the father of our nephews, children, grandchildren. At no point everyone was like, all right, we're fucking crazy. We can't do this. But no, not at any point did that ever occur to them.
What evidence was that?
We were able to obtain city bus video. All
Great
the city
point,
buses
Miss
had
Blue
video
Bus.
on the exterior and the interior of them. We went back along the route that he took.
By the way, this is just like an amazing investigation. Think about this. They had to like get the video of the bus to get the car because they got the car from the rental slip because of the SunPass.
Took and reviewed bus footage video of that and found footage of both vehicles.
All right, and just to try to get our timeline as narrow as we can, this gym video ends at 10:38 a.m. What time did the 911 call come in?
Came in, I believe, 11:02.
And have you had an opportunity to review the exhibit, State's Exhibit 84, with the video from the buses that's been put together similarly to how we did the gym surveillance?
Yes, I have.
And is it fair and accurate?
It is.
Judge, at this time I'd ask to introduce State's, let me check on the exhibit numbers, 84 correct?
Exactly, Shiraz.
84, which is the bus video clips. Videos, where
And it's for
it on city buses?
on the exterior and the interior of the buses, and it's for safety purposes and for review purposes for the city.
How were you able to know how to find this stuff?
We were able to find out which routes the bus took, but which buses took which route at which times. So we looked for that exact bus route along Thomasville Road during that time period.
Okay. So did you have
Take
to
care,
look through
Jerry.
quite a bit of footage to get the little bits we're going to look at?
Yes, the team did.
Okay. All right, permission to publish states 84, Your Honor.
You may.
Absolutely, Wesley. James Geiger. What a good man. What a good man. Wesley says, thanks God. Thank God for Geiger. He came in clutch with the description of the car. We ain't here without that car.
All right, so where are we right here on the video?
This is right in front of the Circle K gas station, which is right on Thomasville Road at the Capitol Circle flyover. I believe it's Maclay Commerce Boulevard is the actual road that they're on.
All right, so if we're the bus, we're on Maclay Commerce.
That's correct. And the Circle K is to the right, and right in front of us is Thomasville Road with the divider where Capitol Circle flyover starts.
And what does the blue circle indicate?
That is the vehicle of Mr. Markell.
What time are we seeing him pass that area?
That is at 10:44.
Okay, so is that consistent with going back home from the gym?
That's correct.
Okay. And this is bus. We've got a couple different buses in play here, right? This one's 505.
Correct, 505.
Okay. Proceed, please.
Michelle, I am just watching Pat Sanford's testimony. We're at today, at least, we're at 5:51ish, and it goes to 6:32 before Windy, which will be next, not this live. So about an hour more, I would say. Hour 15 minutes. Thanks, Mom.
And what does the orange circle indicate?
That is the green Prius that was in the parking lot of Premier Gym.
All right, we're still on bus 505. What does this show?
So this is on Thomasville Road heading south, just south of the I-10. This is the entrance where the hospital is to the right. It's a red light.
And by hospital, you're talking about the new ER.
The new ER, exactly, right by I-10 and Thomasville Road.
Were you able to get the tag number from this image from the bus?
No, unfortunately we weren't. The resolution on these cameras are set really low because they're saved on DVRs, and they don't want them to roll over too fast, so they set the resolution extremely low, and we were not able to pull anything out of that.
Joanne, excellent point, says it was easier for Wendy and Co to organize a murder than organize a co-parenting plan. Sad but true. Great point. And Annette says, grew up in Suffolk County. Love you in the channel. Thank you, Annette. Where in Suffolk?
Where is Professor Markell's vehicle at this point?
It is past the red light. It's already made it through the red light. Still heading south on Thomasville Road.
Thanks for being here, Coach Juror.
And that's almost 10:48 a.m. Is that time correct at the bottom there?
Correct.
Okay, and now we're at 10:51 p.m. I'm sorry, a.m. Still bus 505. What will you pause it, please? What does the orange circle indicate here? Where are we, and what does the circle indicate?
We're still southbound on Thomasville Road. This intersection is Benton Road, which is where Winthrop Park is. Benton Road is where the cars are stopped at. In the left-hand turn lane on the far left side of the screen is the green Prius waiting to turn left on the Benton Road.
And is that a route to get to Professor Markell's residence on Trescott?
That's correct.
All right, and that's 10:51 a.m.?
Correct.
Okay. Go forward.
By the way, if you don't know this, Donna and Harv, originally from New York. Is it Brooklyn or Queens? I think Brooklyn. If I'm. Wendy potentially tonight, not now. I have to decide on that. I haven't decided on Wendy.
Have we gone to a different
not in
bus?
this session.
Yes, this is bus 707.
And what are we looking at on bus 707?
So this is northbound on Thomasville Road at Hermitage. This is at 10:55 a.m. and there's 2 lanes there. They're in the right-hand lane. The bus is in the right-hand lane, but the camera's on the outside of the bus looking backwards. So you'll see oncoming traffic coming behind the bus.
And what do we see here?
We see the green Prius pulling up next to the bus.
So this is 10:55. We last saw him at 10:51. Is that narrower murder window down to that 4 minutes?
That's correct. This is north of where the victim was, and this is coming from the victim's house.
I think we prepared a second clip, if you just let it play through, of that in slow motion. Tell us what we're supposed to be looking for in this clip.
So you can see inside the vehicle, even though it has tinted windows, you can see the driver's wearing dark clothes, but the passenger appears to have a long sleeve white shirt on, and he's very animated in the passenger seat.
I don't know how he
You can
sees he's
also see some
animated.
distinctive features of the car.
I don't see that he's animated. I can't tell.
Got this highlighted here in a moment.
Maybe when it comes up, let's see. Maybe he's telling Tato not to lose him. Tuto telling Tato not to lose Dan as they chase him, trail him.
What are these distinctive
There's the
features?
SunPass.
So the first one in the lower right-hand corner is what's called a tow hook cover. Vehicles in the bumper have some vehicles have a little plate in there that you can remove, and it has a metal hook inside of it, so a tow truck can hook to that metal hook and pull the car if it needs to. This particular vehicle is missing its tow hook cover. You can see there's a hole in the front bumper, so it's been removed and not been replaced. Also on the front windshield is a SunPass. It was affixed to the windshield. And then on the far left side of the screen is the black rear view mirror of the vehicle. Toyota Priuses made in those years had matching mirrors. The mirrors were painted with the car, same color of the car. And you can see in the video that the driver's side mirror was still painted, but the passenger side mirror was black, indicating it had been damaged and been replaced by an aftermarket mirror.
Oh man, I haven't even. My phone must be on Do Not Disturb. Holy shit! First of all, Bonnie Bailey gifting out a membership. Thank you so much, Joanne Jedi Platypus with a $10 Venmo. Wendy is the next after Grandma Gotti. The Don. Thank you so much, Joanne. Your support is unbelievable. Thank you. Miss Blue Bus bought me 5 coffees, $4 bucks. Thank you so much, Miss Blue Bus. KTG with another $5 for Outstanding Kingston, the kid announcer. KTG, always so kind. Thank you guys so much.
Okay. And what is a SunPass?
And thank you, Bonnie, for gifting that membership.
SunPass transponders are used primarily in South Florida, especially back then. We didn't really have any SunPass toll booths up here, but they're used to pay for tolls going on toll roads, where you don't have to stop and pay cash on the toll booth. You can pay for it. I'm sorry, I
interrupted you. Go ahead.
You can pay for it in advance, assign it to your car, create an account, and affix it to your vehicle, so you don't have to stop going through toll booths.
When you observed that it appeared there was a SunPass transponder on this vehicle back at this time, when did you obtain this video, do you know?
This was back in 2014.
Okay. Did it signify to you this vehicle may have come from South Florida?
That's correct.
What efforts were made to follow up on the SunPass?
So we ended up working with an investigator with Florida Department of Transportation, who maintains Florida SunPass, so gave them subpoenas, and we ended up thinking the best route for somebody to go through South Florida with the SunPass would be through Orlando. We obtained video in Orlando to try to see if that green Prius passed through any of the toll booths there. We also obtained a list of all green Priuses in that year range that had a registered SunPass to it.
How many of those were there?
Thousands.
All right, let's let this exhibit finish.
Great point, Charlotte. Great point.
And one more view here. Can you explain what this is?
This is the same bus as the light turned green at Hermitage going north on Thomasville, and this is the green Prius passing the bus.
Joni P with the $5 Venmo for always providing the best streams. Thank you for all your hard work on these crazy, sad trials. Thank you so much, Joni. You guys are just so supportive and amazing. Thank you. Oh, Westbury.
So
I used to work in
needle
Woodbury, Rabbit.
out of the haystack, finding this one Prius, it didn't work as from the SunPass alone.
No, not from the SunPass alone.
All right. Was any work done to try to zero in on some cell phone analysis around the locations where we know the suspect Prius was that day?
Yes, there was.
Okay. And was Sergeant Corbett the person responsible for working on the cell phone analysis?
He was.
Including looking for any phones of interest traveling in those areas that might have been following Dan Martell.
That's correct.
All right, and based on the analysis that we're going to hear from Sergeant Corbett, did you develop an idea of the route that the suspects may have taken?
Thank you, Catgro. Gifting a membership to Brittany. Catgro, always supporter. Thank you so much, Catherine. Hey, Sharon from Israel. Hey, Sharon.
We did.
I know you said you had already tried the SunPass booths in Orlando, which is one potential route to South Florida.
That's correct.
Okay. What did the phone evidence lead you to look at instead of that route?
We were able to obtain those phone records that showed the
What's up,
vehicle
Brooklyn?
traveled down 75 and did not go through Orlando. Took I-10 to 75 all the way down, actually, on the way up also, but on the way down 75 through Tampa, through Naples, then across Alligator Alley on 75 to Miami.
China. All right, so sort of not the expected route.
Correct. It's a longer route than going through the turnpike down through Orlando.
Okay, and you already suspected the vehicle was headed south, I guess, based on just the existence of the SunPass transponder.
Correct.
Okay, and that's sort of corroborated by these phone records.
Correct.
All right. So now that you learned that the vehicle traveled this other route through Alligator Alley, did you find...
No, Taryn. Donna and Harvey in all the three trials never took the stand. They never talked to investigators after they said they would at Dan's memorial. They never got back to him. They've never taken the stand in any of the trials.
Find any place where the SunPass transponder went through? I guess there are some toll booths that you have to go through if you go that route as well, right?
That's correct. There was
All right, this name I'm probably going to mess up. Amory from Dublin, Ireland. If I messed that up, let me know, Amory Cat Lady. Welcome. We have a lot of folks from Ireland.
Where are those located?
They're basically on Alligator Alley. There's one going westbound on the east side in Broward County. When you leave Miami going across Alligator Alley, there's one there going if you're traveling westbound. And then on the way back, there was one going eastbound just outside of Naples.
And were you able to find a Prius?
I love the questions, folks. I've said this before, and I've said this again. If you're new to this trial, ask questions. I might not pause every time. I might just answer in the chat. But Rachel says, did they even show up to Charlie's trial? No, they did not show up to Charlie's trial. They just tried to flee the country after Charlie's trial. Did not show for any of the trial.
Going through those SunPasses that might have been our Prius?
Yes, we were.
How were you able to do that? What did you ask for?
We asked for particular times. We knew about what times they went through the toll booths. We asked for any green Priuses around those times that had activated the SunPass.
And how many green Priuses traveled through the SunPass booths, both going and coming in the same time windows you were looking for?
Just one.
All right, and from that, were you able to identify the particular SunPass transponder that we were looking for that was affixed to the suspect vehicle?
We were.
How'd you do that?
We went back to went to Florida Department of Transportation and asked for that particular detail.
Hold on. This is again, regarding the investigation, how they found this car is amazing, and I'm going to let it go. But Lisa Dempsey, good morning. Super Bowl for 9 months. Always supporter. Lisa Dempsey, good morning from beautiful Central Jersey. Good morning, Lisa. And thank you, as always, for your support. And MJ, our amazing mod, sent a $20 Venmo. Thank you for every laugh, every cry, every in-between. You're the best on the tubes of you. MJ, you're going to make me cry. Thank you, MJ. You're so supportive and just the best. Thank you. All right, so listen to this on how they found the car, the rental.
To identify the particular SunPass transponder that we were looking for that was affixed to the suspect vehicle.
We were.
How'd you do that?
We went back to Florida Department of Transportation and asked for that particular details of that transponder. They gave us a subscriber for that particular one.
And who was the subscriber?
It was a company called Hybrid Auto Rental, also called Save Gas, and it's out of it's down on Biscayne Boulevard in North Miami.
All right. Did you go there?
I did.
All right. What did you learn about the suspect vehicle from Save Gas?
ATG, 6 months.
By the time we got there, he'd already sold the vehicle. It was over a year later.
You're the best.
It was rented by Luis Rivera. He provided us with the basically receipt, the contract where it was rented during that time period.
Thank you,
from
Debbie.
The paperwork that you got from Save Gas, you learned you got a rental contract that showed who rented the vehicle?
That's correct.
Okay, and also any information about the vehicle itself, like a VIN or tag number?
Yes, correct. It gave all the information on the vehicle, too.
What is this place, Save Gas, like? Is that like a enterprise or something else?
No, it's a small, locally owned, individually owned car rental place that kind of repairs his own vehicles, buys and sells vehicles, and rents them out.
All right, Judge, at this time I'd ask to introduce the rental agreement, states 58.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 58 is admitted.
No, so the detective this is Sanford. Sanford, yes, Pat Sanford is FBI. I should put that up on the ticker. Isom was a detective, but yes, Pat Sanford is FBI. Jennifer Adams, a Bonator, our highest level. I think we only have 2 members of the Bonators. Thank you, Jay. You are the best. Jennifer, always supporter. Just amazing. Thank you, Jennifer.
All right. Walk us through this information that's in the renter's information block.
Yes, at the top left, it's the renter information is Luis Rivera. It has his address that matches his driver's license address, and then it has a telephone number down below that.
This phone number here?
Correct.
Okay, and was this information up here also of interest to law enforcement?
It was. That number that has brother next to it, that was one of the numbers that numbers of interest that gave us the pattern going down to South Florida.
Was this number associated with a person eventually?
It was.
Who's that person?
Sigfredo Garcia.
And then we've got some other information on here about when the vehicle was rented. Were you able to deduce from this when the vehicle was due back?
Yes, it was supposed to be back. I believe that's toward the bottom, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah. So the date it was rented was 7/15 at 6:15 p.m. and it was due back on 7/17.
So July 15th of 2014?
Correct, 2014.
That's when it was rented.
Correct.
And it was supposed to be back July 17th?
Correct. That was the
And
date
did it get
back.
returned on time?
No, it did not.
All right, is there anything on that document in reference to the extension of time?
Yes, down at the bottom it also shows that from 7/18 through 7/20 it says I believe 965 paid cash, and then 7/20 to 7/21 so it shows a $55 balance and some other numbers where they ended up having to pay it, and some other notes about paying cash out of the deposit.
So it looks like they didn't return it until July 21st.
That's correct.
All right, and you said that the phone number listed on...
By the way, there's this annoying account on Twitter who always comes at me that Wendy is not guilty, and it's all because he found that the rental agreement says that they were due to return it on July 17th, not July 18th, and that is why she's innocent. By the way, guys, if you don't know this, I don't know if I've ever announced this on stream. I talked about the idea of it, but I don't think I ever officially told people that it was me. If you ever see the account at Wendy for Prison with the name is Did Wendy Adelson Get Arrested Today? And every day I tweet no. That's me. I don't know if people know that. At Wendy for Prison on X, Twitter, and it says, Did Wendy Adelson get arrested today? And every day I tweet no until that day where I'm going to be able to tweet yes, that she did get arrested. It goes viral. That's my account if people didn't know that. I don't think I ever told people.
On top there, with the word brother, turned out to be Sigfredo Garcia's phone number. How do we know that's his phone number?
It was listed one time on a Facebook page that was associated with him, and also listed on a pawn receipt where he'd pawned some, I believe it was some jewelry, and used his fingerprint on that, had to place his fingerprint on the pawn receipt when he did it, and listed that phone number as his.
Oh, I forgot to do it yesterday. Shit. Some days I forget.
Okay, I want to publish what's been introduced as states. Have we introduced this? I'm going to show you states 59 first. Ask you if you recognize states 59.
I do.
How do you recognize it?
I recognize it as an exhibit that lists the subjects in this investigation.
And is the information contained on the exhibit fair and accurate?
Yes.
Judge had asked to introduce states 59.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 59 is admitted.
All right. So
Here's the amazing visuals that I always just like to talk about. They have the best visuals.
you were saying there was a Facebook post or a Facebook account linked to this phone number with a photograph of Sigfredo Garcia as the owner of the account.
Correct. It was labeled Tudo Day, but it was a picture of Sigfredo
All right.
Garcia.
And throughout the course of your investigation, have you come to know Tudo Dade or Tudo as a nickname for Sigfredo Garcia?
That's correct.
And does anybody else on this States Exhibit 59 have a nickname?
Yes.
Who is that?
Luis Rivera is also known as Tato.
Okay. And were you able to subpoena phone records for all the people shown on this States Exhibit 59?
We were.
All right, and establish phone numbers for the phone numbers they were all using at the time of the homicide?
That's correct.
Did you conduct any investigation into Catherine Magbanua and her employment status around the time of this homicide?
We did.
All right, what did you learn about her employment status?
At the time of the homicide, she was shortly after the homicide, I believe it was about 2 months after the homicide, she became employed with the Adelson Institute.
Okay, but at the actual time of the homicide, anything other than maybe odd jobs?
Right. Just odd jobs and maybe some bartending work.
All right, what is the Adelson Institute?
It's a family-owned dentist practice in South Florida.
All right, and did you go to the Adelson Institute?
I did.
Did you attempt to subpoena employment records for Catherine Magbanua at that business?
Yes, I did.
All right, tell us about that.
Myself and Investigator Isom approached the business with a subpoena. Went in, spoke with the lady at the front desk, told her we had a subpoena for records for Catherine Magbanua. made some inquiries about her employment there, and they continued to bring somebody else up and talk to us about it, and then went back in the back and made a phone call.
All right, so when you went in there, Catherine Magbanua was not physically present there.
She was not.
Okay. Was she still receiving checks at the time that you went in there?
Yes, I believe she was.
Okay. And did the employees in there seem to know what she did there?
No, not at all.
All right. Were you eventually provided with some documentation from that business?
Later on, yes.
I'm going to show you what I've marked as State 60.
AIJ here reminding you to hit the like.
Yes.
You recognize it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What is State 60?
It's a list of checks that were issued to Catherine McManua.
And is this exhibit the complete information that you were provided by the Adelson Institute in response to your subpoena for the entire employee file of Catherine McManua?
Yes, this is it. This is all they provided.
All right. And you mentioned a list of checks. Was there anything in here that... Why we're getting that feedback. IT, if you're listening, we need feedback support. Any indication of what her job was there?
No.
Any indication of like her schedule?
No.
Timesheets?
Nothing.
An employment application?
Nope.
W-2?
Nope.
Any tax forms?
No.
Performance evaluations or anything like that?
Nothing.
And over what period was she being paid according to the records that were provided to you?
I believe it started in September of 14 and went through early 2016, maybe
March 31st
March.
of 16?
That's correct.
And so those payments began about 2 months after the homicide?
Correct.
And did you notice in the records that were provided that some of the check numbers were consecutive, meaning consecutive numbers?
Yes, we did.
Did you ever get any evidence that Ms. McBanua was physically going to the Adelson Institute to perform any kind of duties there?
No, we never obtained any evidence to show that at all.
All right, and there was some surveillance at some time being performed of her person, right?
That's correct.
Can you tell us about that? What time frame was she being monitored?
We started monitoring her in late 2015, probably November. Basically had electronic surveillance on her residence. Plus we also were monitoring her phone, location services on her phone historically and prospectively too.
And how long was that the case? How long was she being monitored? What period of time?
Electronic video surveillance was from November of 15 until she no longer lived at that apartment.
All right, and through any of those means that you described, were you able to deduce what it was she was doing for the Adelson Institute in person or remotely?
No, not at all.
All right, and we heard in opening that there was a wiretap in this case. Anything on the wiretap that indicated what she was doing for that business?
There was a couple of references about cleaning up on the weekends. That was about it, though.
Okay, and again, we would have known if she'd gone there to clean up on the weekends, right? At least during the time frame she described.
That's correct.
And that didn't happen.
It did not.
Okay. 1 moment, please, Your Honor. No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Kappelman, if you can move the left turn slightly over to the left, and it's not cutting on any wires, is it?
Blair, the ringing sound is feedback in the courtroom, unfortunately. And now we got the rationator. Before each time he does cross-examination, they have to put a few phone books on the ground. That's not nice, Jay. All right, it's Rashbaum's turn.
Don't think so.
I'm going to move it anyway. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm gonna move it way forward.
Try not to jockey with the microphones because that might be causing some of the feedback.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Blinky McStupid with all the blinks.
Let's actually start where we left off, the checks.
Okay.
Okay. The checks began 2 months after the date that Professor Markel was murdered, give or take.
Red and Right says Pat Sanford is a man on a mission, and Charlotte brought up a good point. Think about all the other trials we've seen where a lot of the focus was on how shitty the investigation was, and some of them on how shitty the investigators were. Between Pat Sanford and Chris Corbett, I mean, Isom, meh. But Pat Sanford, Chris Corbett, man, they were just amazing, amazing investigators.
That's what the date on the checks were for that employment, correct?
And the checks were in batches, right? Often.
They seem to be, the sequence of the check numbers were in batches, correct?
So just so everyone understands what that means, you would see a check for check number 1, 2, 3, and 4, for instance. And you would see those checks, even though they were the next checks in the book, they'd be for payments every 2 weeks, essentially.
Correct. What I observed was a few checks in sequence, and at the bottom it would give date ranges of when they were for, and they would be for 2-week segments, and then the very next check was for another 2-week segment later on, and then there was other checks in the system that were dated out of range of those.
So it looked like Miss Magbanawa was given a stack of checks at a time, for instance.
And let me say regarding Isom, like, I think he did all right, but like, if you guys watched his first, the first trial, just how he did on the stand, comparative to, you know, Sanford and Corbett, just they did much better. And if you guys don't know, Detective Isom, the lead detective, did not testify in Charlie's trial. It was Sanford and Corbett. They didn't even call him.
Fair assumption?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. Those checks, when you added them up, they were about $1,000 a month, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it was like $460 a month or something like that. Or every 2 weeks, I mean.
$460 every 2 weeks.
Correct.
Which, I'm not great at math. $920. And there's taxes, a little bit of taxes taken out, right?
Sure. Correct.
So about $1,000 a month.
Correct.
Now, I think you testified that the state's theory of why this murder occurred was partially a murder because of the desire of Miss Adelson to relocate. I think that's what you testified on direct. Is that fair to say?
That's fair.
You're aware that the relocation motion was denied in June of 2013, right?
Correct.
And that's more than a full year before the murder, right?
The relocation was in June of 13? Yes.
The murder was in middle July of 2014.
Right. Correct.
As part of your investigation, did you learn that no one really thought the relocation motion was going to be successful?
I don't know about no one, but there was some indication that they thought it might not be successful, correct?
Did you?
I fucking hate that assertion. Wendy Adelson was a lawyer. Wendy Adelson was a lawyer herself who paid her lawyer to file a motion for relocation, which could have potentially led to hearings where they would have to as anyone who's gone through a divorce, if you found out your ex just filed a pleading to fucking move just for shits and gigs, just for shits and giggles, they didn't think it was going to win. That is horseshit. I don't care what anyone says. They fucking filed that because they wanted to win and they wanted to move. I fucking hate that. Oh, they just filed it because they wanted to file. They didn't think they were going to win. Horseshit. You don't just that's like, I feel like that's not, you're an attorney and you just like, you're wasting everyone's fucking time on something you didn't think you had a chance with. The fuck out of here. I hate that.
Try to speak to Miss Adelson's lawyer?
I did not know. Tallahassee Police Department did at one point.
And did they learn that the motion was, as she says in an email, a moonshot?
I don't know that.
Now, you discussed in your direct examination, you talked about some of these emails. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Actually, before we get there. No, actually, we'll stay there. Those emails, you reviewed them?
I reviewed some of them, not all of them. The team did.
Okay. Out of the ones that you reviewed, anything in those emails about murder?
About murder? No.
Anything in those emails about violence?
Not that I saw, no.
Well, good question, Rauschbaum. There was nothing in the emails of Donna saying, "Hey, can we murder Dan?" Case dismissed. What a dumb fucking.
Anything in those emails about any type of illegal activity at all?
Not that I recall. I mean, the bribe itself wouldn't be illegal, I don't think.
In fact, with regard to the $1 million email, I think is the one that you're referring to, did you see emails where they were consulting lawyers about whether that $1 million offer was legal?
I did.
So fair to say, as crazy as the emails were, we agree they're crazy, right?
Yes.
There was at least some sanity to make sure what they were doing was legal, right?
One portion of it, yes.
Now, those emails, did you see any emails where any of these ideas were coming from Charlie Adelson?
I saw some emails where they were discussed with him, apparently.
But any time where he was actually coming up with the ideas as opposed to being copied on the email where he says, okay, sounds good.
I think there was some reference of her saying she discussed it with him, but I did not see any emails from him. No.
Meaning Donna discussing it with
Correct.
his mother.
Correct.
The $1 million email, I think we'll talk about this later in more detail when you're back. But let's just tie it up here a little bit. You've listened to Mr. Adelson on the phone a lot, right?
I did.
Is it fair to say he's a big talker?
That's fair.
Is it fair to say he repeats himself a lot?
That is very fair.
Through your investigation, are you aware that this $1 million idea, where Mr. Adelson was going to lend a third of $1 million, that he talked to a lot of people about that idea? Are you aware of that through your investigation?
I am not aware of that.
Now, back to the divorce. Are you aware that the divorce between Professor Markell and Miss Adelson was finalized in July of 2013?
That's my understanding, yes, correct.
Again, that's about a year before the murder, correct?
Correct.
Wow, Kim Delorme with a $27.99 of Canadian dollars. Canada. I love your passion, Jay. It always makes me cry when they show Dan leaving the gym. Yeah, it's so sad. And Kim, you've been an amazing supporter, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We love our friends over in Canada, eh?
And after Miss Adelson's relocation motion was denied, are you aware that she was determined to make a life for herself in Tallahassee?
I don't know if I can speak to that.
Well, let me see if I can help you. You went through Miss Adelson's emails as well in your investigation?
I did not. The team did.
Did anyone from the team talk to you about those emails?
Some of them.
All right, well, let's see if you're aware of some of these. Are you aware that she was looking to buy property in Tallahassee?
No, it was not.
You didn't see any emails to that effect?
I did not personally, no.
Are you aware that she was looking to enroll her kids in schools, a new school in Tallahassee, for the fall of 2014? In other words, after the time when Mr. Markell was murdered.
I know there was discussions about that with Mr. Markell. I am aware of that.
Are you aware that she was scheduling plans with friends in Tallahassee for August of 2014 and for the fall of 13, all of which would have occurred after the murder? Are you aware of that?
No.
You didn't see those in any emails that you reviewed?
I did not see those, no.
Are you aware that she was scheduling business meetings for late July 2014? See emails on them?
I did not see that, no.
Are you aware that she purchased plane tickets leaving for Tallahassee to go to a wedding out of state? Those plane tickets were purchased in June, but they were purchased for an October wedding. She bought plane tickets to leave from Tallahassee. Are you aware of that?
No.
Are you aware that her family, including Mr. Adelson, was planning to come up to Tallahassee in August 2014 when Miss Adelson was going to be honored at FSU?
No.
You didn't see any emails on that either, did you?
I didn't.
By the way, again, if you're new to this trial, you may think, why does Rauschbaum is he mentioning like Donna and Wendy when his client is Charlie? It's because this man he's become himself enmeshed in the Adelson fucking clan.
But you're aware that the state subpoenaed Miss Adelson's emails, right?
I am.
Now, you also mentioned this.
Thank you so much, Sharon.
I like to call it the grandmother motion. Can we call it that?
Sure.
In March of 2014, there's these.
Exactly, Brooklyn. Exactly. Dan is basically testifying for the Adelsons here. Diabolical. Absolutely, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn! It actually starts earlier. It starts. Can I have that big binder?
It was February.
Yeah.
The clerk has it.
All right, well, I'm not, it's okay. Somewhere in that big binder, there's a bunch of litigation back and forth with Miss Adelson and Professor Markell regarding money.
Yes.
And at some point in the course of a motion that Wendy Adelson filed, Professor Markell files a motion back, and that's when he seeks to have only supervised visits of the kids with Donna Adelson. That's the motion you were talking about with Ms. Kappelman, correct?
Correct.
And that occurs in early 2014, right?
It does.
Now, the motion doesn't get heard because Miss Adelson's lawyer has to recuse herself, right?
I believe so.
And she has to recuse herself because Professor Markell makes allegations against that lawyer as well.
I'm not aware of that, but okay.
And so that's part of the reason of the delay of why the motion's not heard. Are you aware of that?
I am, correct.
Are you aware that in the course of this litigation, in that binder, I don't want to find the page, I won't be able to, that the court chastised, was critical of Professor Markell on this motion?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Are you aware that the court highlighted that the motion probably wouldn't be granted?
No, I did not. Did not see that.
The jury will have it. Are you aware that on July 11th, 2014, this is months after that motion. Well, let me back up. When you studied this case, is it fair to say that with all the litigation, there were good periods of times after the divorce between Professor Markell and Miss Adelson as well, right?
I can't speak to that. My partner did.
Honestly, as we do this someone's at the door. My dogs are going crazy. Honestly, as we do this rewatch, I should have started a counter, but I didn't. Just how many times it appears that Rauschbaum is not defending Charlie, but it almost feels like he's defending Wendy or Donna in this trial. I mean, I guess the argument could be made that's because they're all fucking guilty. But, you know, his focus should be fucking Charlie. And half the time he's talking about fucking shit with Wendy and Donna. Like, who's your client, stupid? They all are, because he's enmeshed with them, I guess.
Did most of that research, so I was not very familiar with it.
Fair enough. Well, are you aware that on July 11th, 2014, so this is several months after the grandmother motion, that Professor Markell asked Donna and Harvey Adelson to watch the kids for him?
I am not aware of that.
Are you aware that he had a function to go to and Miss Adelson had another function to go to, and he didn't have childcare for them, and he asked them to watch the kids for him?
No.
Oh, is that Katie? Cool lady? Is that Kathy right there with the glasses?
Care for them, and he asked them to watch the kids for him?
No.
7 days before the murder?
Not aware of it.
By the way, every time I watch this trial, there's John, but every time I watch the trial, I'm like, who? When I look quickly, I'm like, why is the Hulk there? But it's not the Hulk, it's just a lady with a green mask.
7 days before the murder?
Not aware of it.
Couple more. Ms. Kappelman on direct asked you about a life insurance policy. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And she asked you, she made it seem like, well, let me be clear. Was it your position that Wendy Adelson gained $2 million from that life insurance policy?
I believe there is I believe that Mr. Markell's sister has custody of that and is supposed to distribute to, I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I believe distribute to the children as needed.
So let me be clear so the jury's not confused. Are you aware that Professor Markell had a life insurance policy in March of 2012?
I'm not sure of the dates, but I knew he had one.
And that originally Wendy Adelson was the beneficiary of that policy?
That sounds right.
But in October of 2012, 2 years before his murder, he signed the policy over, making his sister the beneficiary and the custodian for his boys. Are you aware of that?
I wasn't sure of the date, but yes, I'm aware of that.
So Wendy Adelson isn't permitted to get any money from that policy without Professor Markell's sister, correct?
Yes, without her sister, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that's clear.
Thanks, Dan. Glad that's clear now. You really cracked the case.
Special Agent, you've been an FBI agent for almost 25 years.
Correct.
Mostly in Miami, right?
No, here in Tallahassee.
In Tallahassee, okay. Apologies. You've investigated, fair to say, maybe more than a dozen murders?
Fair to say.
How many murders for hire have you done?
Recently?
In your life?
Over my lifetime, probably half a dozen, but in the past 2 years, 2.
So, putting this case aside, which I know you believe is a murder for hire, putting this case aside, in those cases...
I know you believe it's a murder for hire, not some sort of wacky extortion plan, extortion layaway plan.
...that you've done that were murder for hires, did the hitman get paid over time?
Paid over time? Not in those cases.
Never, right? In your experience?
Not in those particular cases, no.
Because hitmen, they usually don't like to be connected to the people they're doing a hit for, right?
It's case-by-case basis.
But in your experience, hitmen get paid before and after. 2 payments or 1 payment.
It depends on circumstances.
How about in the ones you've done?
Depends on circumstances. Sometimes after, sometimes before, sometimes both.
But in your cases, that's it. It's either before.
I mean, this Sanford is the man you want if you like any prosecutor would want him. He's not going to go back at Rauschbaum. He's not going to be snarky. He's going to answer him honestly. He knows he has the facts to back his case. He doesn't come back at him like a dick. He'll like give a little smile like Wesley just said there. Like he'll give a little smile like knowing that this is a joke, but he's not combative. He's great. He's a great witness.
Or 1 payment after, right?
The ones I've investigated have been, we made arrests on them, so they didn't continue on.
Okay. You made arrests immediately on them?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever done an extortion case?
Yes, but it's been years ago.
And you've seen a lot of extortion cases, I'm sure, at the Bureau?
Sure.
How do people get paid in extortion cases?
By the way, I love when Rauschbaum does his little look to the jury like he's fucking making a point.
How do people get paid in extortion cases?
Different ways.
Mostly they get paid over time, right?
They can. If the extortion continues, yes.
May I have 1 moment, Your Honor?
Take your time.
By the way, I don't know if anyone's going to get this reference, but some of the words Rauschbaum says and his cadence, I don't know what it is, but he just reminds me of Lorne Michaels or people who are doing impressions of Lorne Michaels, like "Welcome to the show." There's just certain words and mannerisms that he reminds me of Lorne Michaels. I don't know if maybe I'm off. I don't know. There's certain words he says. Oh, let's conference.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Oh, well, Charlie gave me okay.
Examination.
Hey, Leslie. Welcome.
In reference to the money that...
Yes, and if you don't know this bit of trivia like Dr. Evil, Lou says like Dr. Evil, if you don't know this bit of trivia, Mike Myers, when he did Dr. Evil, he based his talk and mannerisms based off Lorne Michaels when he worked on Saturday Night Live. If you don't know that, Dr. Evil based on Lorne Michaels.
Is set aside for the boys. How does the money get to the little kids from the sister?
Through Wendy Adelson has to make those requests and then provides it to them.
All right, so per Donna Adelson, in reference to those emails you were asked about, what was the #1 objective for Wendy?
Relocation to South Florida to be close to family.
And going through the courts, that failed, right?
Correct, it did.
So whether it was a moonshot or not, it didn't work.
That's correct.
And as far as making sure the bribe to Dan Markell was going to be legal, what would Dan Markell have done if they had done something illegal?
He would have held it against them, I'm sure.
Would have nailed their butts with it, wouldn't he?
Absolutely.
Can't do that now, can he?
No.
Did any of those plans that were going to take place in Tallahassee after the murder happened?
No, they did not.
Did Wendy buy a house in Tallahassee?
No, she didn't.
Did Wendy fly out of Tallahassee to go to a wedding?
No.
Did the boys go to school that fall here in Tallahassee?
No, they didn't.
Where did they go to school?
In South Florida, right across the street from where Grandma lived.
And why didn't those plans happen in Tallahassee?
Because Mr. Markell was murdered.
Did the grandma motion you were asked about, they said, well, it probably wasn't going to get granted. Well, it didn't get granted or denied, did it?
Never was heard.
Why not?
Because he was murdered.
No further questions.
Oh, Georgia is so good. That questioning was so good. We've seen such shitty prosecutors who can't get their point across. That was so fucking good. That was so good. Ah, she's so good.
I'm going to step down from now.
All right, so this is part 1 of Sanford because he comes back, and I'm going to end it here. And again, I want to do Wendy's testimony. I don't know if I'm going to do it tonight because I feel like I should have like a guest or someone watch Wendy with me because I don't know. I'll think about it, but definitely tomorrow I'm going to stream the stuff on the police report about from Amy Adler and the Best Buy guy and Rob Adelson. And I was thinking about this with Wendy and why. I think she's guilty you guys, I've ranted for how many streams why I think she's guilty, but it's a lot of what she did do, but it's also the shit she didn't do, right? Like, so Dan Markell was murdered and she doesn't let, I guess this is her, she fucking doesn't let his parents or family see those kids. She's just the fucking worst. She leaves within 48 hours. I'll probably save my Wendy rant for her testimony, but to me, when people come at me like she's not involved or there's not enough, it's all circumstantial. This whole fucking case is circumstantial. And I just think if you have Jeff Lacasse, did I pronounce that wrong? If you have the Greenberg, if you have her going by the crime scene, you have like, I don't know. I think they're waiting for after Donna goes down, but and again, I think Harvey should go down too. Wendy needs to go down, but that's just Dom's mom Becky with a $20 Venmo. Have a good Monday, Jay. Appreciate you. I hope you have a good Monday, Becky. Thank you so much. So thank you guys so much. Your support is just unbelievable as always. I appreciate you guys. Keep your eye out for the next streams. I'll plan them. Definitely going to do another one with the police report I found. Might release another interview that I have from the FOIA. I'm portaling you to Bob's stream today. I think it's at like 1:30. The Telus trial. If you don't know, in the Telus case, the state has rested. And Robert Telus is likely testifying. Could be today. So you're not going to want to miss that. And don't forget Publicly Buzz tonight. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate your support. Thank you, mods, as always. You guys are the best. And just the best chat and the best subscribers and supportive people around. So did I say today's Monday? Today's Tuesday. Did I say, Dom's mom said it. All right, so Dizzy, I'm not sure. I'm going to decide whether I do a stream tonight. I don't think I have one scheduled. I may do one tonight. I may not. I'm going to decide on that. So it won't be at 8 because I'm not going to do it. I think Steve goes. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Guys, thank you so much. Appreciate your support as always. Have a great day. And I will catch you on the next one.
Thank you for joining us, J-Bo Nation. Please give all of yourselves an ovation. No, it won't be real long until next time. Oh, J-Bo Nation, there's no place we'd rather be. J-Bo Nation is the place to be. J-Bo Nation is the place to be. J-Bo Nation is the place to be. J-Bo Nation is the place.